Richard Ashcroft.
The Radio 2 Piano Room.
Hi, I'm Vernon Kay and welcome back to Maida Vale, where I am delighted to be able to introduce another summer special in the Radio 2 Piano Room series. Now, back in May, Carol Decker from Tapo thrilled us with her performance, and today, as we often do in the Piano Room, we are off in another completely different direction. Our latest star guest first came to our attention as the lead singer of The Verve, and over the last 3 decades, can't believe it's that long, he's become one of the country's most revered singer-songwriters, racking up 5 top 5 albums as a solo artist and winning not 1 but 2 Ivor Novello Awards. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome to the Piano Room Richard Ashcroft.
Yes, my man.
The floor is yours.
Look into her box of memories.
Sonnet, Richard.
Thank you.
When you play that, what's the abiding memory that you've got of Urban Hymns? Because Urban Hymns was 97, but that was released in 98. I think it was the 4th or 5th single from the album. And then you guys were like, let's not release it as a single, because I think you thought you were doing too many singles from that album, right?
Yeah, foolishly, we still had that kind of career suicide vibe. There was loads of singles that could have come off Urban Hymns in reality if we'd been around long enough. But yeah, Sonnet was kind of inspired by my wife, Kate. She had a box that did have some memories in. So it's a real spiritual tune, incredibly uplifting. I just remember the first time I heard that chorus in the studio and just, my arms just, I just spread my arms on the big speakers, and that became like a level to reach to. If a chorus or a tune gets you to almost just spread your arms and just dive into the sound, So, yeah, it's always like I think that and A Lucky Man or A Song for the Lovers, they're kind of like a template to, where I want to reach, you know what I mean, as a songwriter. And the thing is, the tune's grown so much over the years. Sometimes you'll get tunes that weren't real big singles, but over the years, people seem to really, warm to them. And that one's, it's almost as relevant now and as loved now as it was back then,
I'm lost for words, because that statement, what you've just said, it's almost as loved now as much as it was back then. That was a big tune. It was one of those tunes that really stood out in your live performances as a band. And with the BBC Concert Orchestra, that live rendition is almost pretty bang on the single.
That's right. That's right, yeah. No, it's beautiful, it's great to play with these guys. I always love it, playing with live strings, and, Urban Hymns was very string heavy. Will Malone did an amazing job on the arrangements, and, when we got to the point of putting those strings on, it was truly, I couldn't sleep for a few days afterwards. It was just so exciting, to hear, the kind of bringing out the depth of some of the chords, the changes, and doing what strings should do, and it's wonderful to play today with these guys.
Yeah, they're pretty decent.
They're all right, aren't they?
Yeah, they're all right. You mentioned with Sonnet being one of those big tunes, but that was kind of your thing with the band, wasn't it? You had big, powerful tunes that also played out as big, powerful tunes when you were live.
Yeah, sometimes, you can't go out to write an anthem, as it were. I don't think that's possible, really. It's the crowd taking it into their hearts, their souls, and their lives. They make it an anthem, you know what I mean? When they're singing that chorus together, collectively, and we're as one, that's what kind of makes an anthem.
Is that what feeds you when you're live? Because, you know that I've seen you several times.
Yeah.
And you do get an energy from the crowd, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah. And it's the people stopping me on the streets, the stories of how songs have been soundtracks to, sometimes wonderful parts of the life, sometimes really difficult. And that's a great honor, if you can help in any way with a tune, because, music can be healing. It can give you strength in life. And the fact that I've managed to pull off a couple of things that have had that effect on people is wonderful. So when you get all those people together with all those stories, everyone's thinking individually, that's my song.
Yeah.
And when we all come together and sing together, it's a real communal thing. It's a real spiritual thing that, the energy of that is just unique. You can't. And I've, back with, I think seeing Oasis, actually, one of the few bands back in that era who first established almost a whole concert of singing. Do you know what I mean? Because often before that, you'd have a band, they'd have one tune, two tunes that everyone knew, and the rest was like,
Yeah.
But it's that commitment from the moment you come on of the audience. And that is just something special. So yeah, I'm very, very lucky to have experienced that.
We like collective euphoria.
We love it. We
Absolutely,
love it. It's like bringing the club into a different genre, the club feeling. That's what,
That's a good analogy.
Well, my generation experienced the club thing in its...
No, hang on, Richard. You went to Wigan Pier.
Yeah, I went to Wigan Pier, and I went to some pretty crazy ones in Liverpool as well. And, I think that it's that out-of-body thing, that communal thing when you're together. And I think, some bands and some songs kind of do that, They
All right, well, let me get into this. Did a repetitive beat ever come into your eye line when you were growing up in the band? Dance music or that kind of genre?
Yeah,
Did it?
Things like, obviously, Voodoo Ray and stuff like that, 808 State. You know, that was the thing then. It was often you'd go out or you'd listen to dance stuff or you go to a club, but eventually at 4 or 5 in the morning, you were putting on Bob Dylan or you were putting on the Beatles. And I think that's where the Roses Stone Roses had such an impact, because they were that bridge between it all.
It's interesting you say that about the Stone Roses, because I would imagine that they're one of your favourite Manchester bands, but you as a band, when you were starting out, didn't really want to be associated with that sound from back end of the 80s.
And it was tough, yeah.
We've found a great clip, Richard.
Oh, yeah, go on then.
You're going to love this. This is from a BBC Two show from 1992, I think it is, where you and the band were on Rapido.
Oh, yeah.
And this is you talking about how you wanted to separate yourselves, even though I think it's only the A6 that separated Wigan from Manchester. You didn't really want to be affiliated with that sound. Just listen to this.
In certain interviews, I've been portrayed as some sort of cliched scally, which is not enjoyable, really, because I'm nothing like that. It was all a big scam and it stunk anyway, didn't it? The whole Manchester thing was hideous. There was only like 2 good bands there anyway, and everyone knew that.
That's a pretty harsh damning, yeah. You know, there was definitely way more bands of that decade that came out than 2, but essentially the 2 that, the Happy Mondays and Stone Roses, they were head and shoulders above the rest. And it was the way that the corporates had come in, people were banging up from London trying to sign anything. You know, we'd be in interviews in America and they'd be like, so what's the Manchester baggy scene? So you're part of the Manchester bag, you know. And I think what it was then it was a young man there fighting not to be put in a box too early, you know, because that's what happens you get typecast, you get put in when I knew my journey was going to be much more potentially eclectic and I was going to, you know, hopefully discover many, many things to do with music. But it goes without saying, though, without seeing the Stone Roses at 17, I'm not sure that I would have achieved what I've done. It was that pivotal. It was like those punk gigs for those bands back in the day that really inspired them.
We're going to do a new track now, which we've been playing. It uses a great recognisable sample. Lover is the track that you're going to do next.
Yeah, I was working on that for a number of years before lockdown, really. I was going to do an album of all potentially samples, but somewhere along this journey, I've decided to go for an album a bit more eclectic, where you're going to have sample tracks, but then you're going to have me and just my acoustic. But yeah, it's kind of one of Joan Armatrading's most famous songs. It's probably one of the most famous moments in her musical career. So the fact that she agreed to the sample is fantastic. I'm honoured with that.
All right, Richard, over to you, my friend.
Thank you.
Insecure and I was on the floor and you lit that fire.
That really punches you in the gut.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a heavy tune. Yeah, heavy tune.
That is mega. So when you were considering doing an album of samples, what made you change your mind to not doing an album of samples, but
I think it was
sticking with that one?
I think it was time. I think your mind, if you go in and you do something in 6 months, got it done. I think, last few years have been a bit weird for all of us, so that kind of kicked in, and then my imagination grew a little, and then I started thinking, maybe it's going to be a bit more on the lines of Screamadelica or something where you can go out of a lover into an acoustic song, when you can go into, I've got a track on there I did with a Mirror Ways, which is kind of more club, it's more dance really, with a great hook. And then it can go down to something really stripped down and bare. So that became my thing. Also, it can be really expensive doing an album of samples. It really can, and I think record companies need to wake up. It's like, if I'm going to bring something back to the attention of my audience and a wider audience, obviously the original is going to sell. Hopefully Joan Armatrading, get some benefit from this. People realize what an iconic, incredible artist she is. They go back and listen to her stuff. Just those few chords inspired me for this. And, it's like a mutual thing that can be really cool,
We had the first play of that in May. What else is on the album? Is there an album coming, by the way?
Yeah, the album's due in September, right. Just after I finish the dates with Oasis, that'll be coming out in September. And yeah, happy days. We'll see how it goes. But, I'm buzzing that I'm still here. I'm still making music. People pay me to make music. People pay me to sing live. It's like, I can't complain,
You mentioned Oasis. Who made the phone call to you? Which one?
I think it was their promoter, it was my promoter, but I think, he had a number of people who would have done it for nothing. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think he was hoping it was going to be one of them. But I think Liam mentioned it in a meeting, and Noel totally agreed, because I used to say I supported Noel when I was younger, and Liam, Oasis, as a solo artist. They supported the Verve back in very early days. I've supported them as the Verve many times. And I've also, in a way, been there from almost the beginning. When Bonehead left the band, I happened to be in the studio. I came down with a guitar, pretending like, and I would have taken the job, to be honest. I'd have been happy. I'd have been happy strumming along to those tunes, you know what I mean? Big weight off my shoulders, just have a laugh. But, our stories are bonded, whether we like it or not. And for me, it's just, it's a vindication for them that everything they did, it wasn't just some mirage. It wasn't just all the times. Their stuff has lasted. And, not to have a cliche, they will live forever. Mm. And I'm just happy for them. I'm happy for the mum, the family, everyone involved, that they're getting that chance to have a victory lap. You know what I mean? And then, because when I saw the Stones not that long ago, I was amazed at the cross-generational crowd. You've got granddads, sons, grandsons, all together watching a show. And there's not many acts that can pull that off, And Oasis, pardon me, and I believe myself can do that. We can bring in multi-generations of families to enjoy it. So it's exciting, and it's I'm just pleased to be part of it. I don't normally like the warm-up slot, but this one's a piece of cake for me. It's just like, yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, because I'm taking our 15-year-old. Well, she'll be 16. Because she's a big fan of rock and roll music.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a pivotal moment for me. But let me ask you a quick question. Last time I saw you was at the Royal Albert Hall.
That's right.
And I met your son.
Yeah.
Good guitarist by all accounts.
Yeah, he's a great songwriter, actually. He's recorded an album, and, we're looking into ways of getting that out at some point. He's very good in it. There's a lot of that. I don't even want to say the word, the Nepo word.
Yeah.
But what's amazing about him is I'm not a great teacher anyway, and I'm also not that adept at the instrument. So, he's taught himself. He's taught himself a piano, taught himself a bit of sax, and, he's a big fan of things like Van Morrison, etc. And, he's made a record that's, I'm really amazed at the quality for his age. He's gifted. He could be a great songwriter, yeah, so.
Well, let's be honest, with mum and dad, who are pretty musically gifted themselves. It's going to be pretty decent. But it's nice to point our kids in the right direction and then let them go. Do you know what I mean?
Well, what's amazing about him, he's also done a bit of teaching as well, and he's been at a school. The kids absolutely loved him. They want him to do that as well. So that's what I really respect about him. He's kind of gone out and done that as well.
Yeah.
You know, and it's very difficult with kids, guiding them, and you know. So my only dream is that they find something that they find rewarding and get some happiness out of in this life. So that's probably why I haven't really, really pushed him. But I think it's good because it shows their own initiative. It shows they got hunger.
Let me ask you, has he listened to A Storm in Heaven? Does he know your music?
Yeah. I
Right,
mean,
perfect.
he's listened to a lot of tunes, yeah.
Yeah, good. We've got a question now from the previous artist in Piano Room.
Okay.
That was Carol Decker, and this
No
is
worries.
Carol's question to you.
Okay.
Hi, Richard. It's Carol here. So you are so super cool. It's beyond measure. And I want to know, do you have any favourite guilty pleasure Saturday night TV that you like to sit down and watch? And would you do anything like The Masked Singer? I did The Masked Singer last year, and I just think it would be absolutely epic if someone like you did The Masked Singer.
Oh, that's very kind of I can't see myself on The Masked Singer.
Are you a telly person?
Yeah, but I've kind of gone. It's interesting because for a big chunk of my music career, I missed so much.
Yeah.
I missed, I'd come home from tour and the people would be talking about a series, and this is before streaming, so it was gone. I missed it. But when I like to go a bit more like, I'm one of them people that like searching on the market, So I'm a place in the sun type guy. I'm like, you want what for 65 grand? 4 bedrooms and a pool? I love it. That's the kind of thing I love. I want 4 bedrooms. I want outside barbecue space, a pool, and what's your budget?
I am living this right
58,000.
now.
We won't go a pound above it. And then this poor guy's got to take him round Spain and try and find something for 58 grand. That kind of thing. I do like that.
Oh, you've done me there. That's absolutely priceless. Quality. Richard, listen, I love you to bits. Good luck with the album in September.
Thank you,
congratulations on the tour. Everything's going mega.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, and what are you going to finish with? What's your cover version?
Yeah, my cover version is a track released around 71 by Dennis Wilson, drummer, singer in the Beach Boys, who in his own right released some great albums, specifically Pacific Ocean Blue. That was hard to say. But yeah, I've always, when I heard we were doing something with the orchestra, I always really enjoyed the strings on this song. I think it's a beautiful song. It's a song that should be bigger in a way. One of those lost gems. So I had the honour of having Brian Wilson sing backing vocals on one of my tunes. And I mentioned to him about Dennis and when I met him. And yeah, it's nice to have that. Nice to be able to do this today for Dennis.
Flowers come in the spring. All the love I can bring, I bring it for my lady. All I can do, you know, it's for my lady. I love her so, I love to
And that's what we do. That's it. That's what we do. That's Richard Ashcroft with the BBC Concert Orchestra. And I tell you what, the reaction has been absolutely insane. As expected, I'll be honest with you, personally, I knew we'd get this kind of reaction because Richard's attitude towards life and music is so infectious. Do you know what I mean? It's so infectious. He's a great talker. He's quite literally a poet. Hey Vern, I'm currently in my recording studio writing a score to a film, but always have Radio 2 on in the background. Listening to Richard Ashcroft has been such an inspiring listen. I just had to stop. It's got my creative juices going as he believes in it. You just have to be yourself because one day the world will catch up. Music really is a beautiful gift to the world. Have a great day, everyone. That's from Andy in Sheffield. Thank you in capitals. BBC Radio 2, Richard Ashcroft was brilliant in the piano room. That's from Goffey the Trucker. Morning, Vern. No words needed for piano room today. Just absolutely mind-blowing. Thank you very much, says Kev the Cabbie in Lincoln. Hey, Vernon Kay, what a treat. Richard Ashcroft. I love this man. His music has guided me through good times and bad times in my life, the peaks and troughs. Then Human Conditions came out and it blew me away. What a man, says Tracy. Vern, all I can say is goosebumps. Loved it, says Emma. Wow, Vern, listening to Richard has been amazing. What a cool guy from Gemma in Cheshire. Mr. Ashcroft, my summer is complete. My two favourite bands from my younger days together. I can't wait to see you all at Wembley. And yes, I will be singing with you, Richard, says Tracy. Richard Ashcroft is absolutely amazing. We adore his songs and his voice is incredible. The Verve is one of my favourite bands ever. We love them, say Debbie and Brian in Derby. Well, there you go. Thank you, Richard. It was superb. And good luck this weekend. The launch of the Oasis homecoming gigs is tomorrow and we're going to be there. We're going to be in Heaton Park. And remember, if you missed any of today's performance or just want to enjoy it again, well, it's on BBC Sounds at midday, or you can choose either version you want, be it just the songs or the songs with the chat, or, you know what I mean, just the chat. There are various versions on there on BBC Sounds. All you've got to do is just type in Piano Room in the search bar. It's going to be available to watch on the iPlayer as well. And the top tier live music just keeps coming because next month we'll have our fourth and final summer Piano Room performance. We are reopening the doors to Maid of Vale Studio 3 on Thursday the 21st of August. But which global superstar will be our latest guest?
Hey Vernon, it's Robbie Williams here, and I'm just leaving you a little message to say that little old me will be your next guest in the Radio 2 Piano Room, and I can't wait. I'll be with the BBC Concert Orchestra to bring you something old, something new, and something I guarantee has never been performed in the piano room before. You'll be able to hear it all on Radio 2 and on BBC Sounds, and you can watch it on iPlayer. You won't be able to escape me, Vernon. Robbie Williams is everywhere.
There you go, Robbie in the piano room.
Some say that we are players, some say that we are pawns, but we've been making money since the day that we were born. Got to slow down before we fall down. We got stars directing our fate, and we praying it's not too late, 'cause we know we're falling from grace. Millennium. Live for liposuction, detox for your rent, overdose of Christmas, and give it up for Lent. My friends are all so cynical, we refuse to keep the faith. We all enjoy the madness, 'cause we know we're gonna fade away. We got stars directing our fate, and we're praying it's not too late, 'cause we know we're falling from grace. Millennium. Come and have a go if you think you are
next guest in the BBC Radio 2 Piano Room with the BBC Concert Orchestra. Very exciting. All that to come. Remember, tomorrow we are broadcasting live to you from Heaton Park in Manchester prior to the first Oasis homecoming gig. We've got some very, very special guests who are very close to the band.
This is Radio 2.
On BBC Sounds and on your smart speaker.
Play BBC Radio 2.